it can cover the entire book. And what we're basically trying to do is apply equal pressure. So if you stack it in a pyramid, the biggest one's on the bottom, you can and have equal boards on it, it'll squeeze everything. So Jeff's busy making a pile, and if you notice what he's doing is there's a center point right down where the screw is in the middle of the press. The center point should be the center of all of the books. So we want to put them centered this way in the press and centered this way in the press so the pressure's even. Otherwise what happens, you start screwing it down and it all bunches out one way, or it gets... And he's also, if you got a book that's really wide, opening out like one way, we'll try and find another one that's wide and put it the opposite so that at the top of the pile it's fairly flat. Do you want to start this one over here?
Yeah, this is a brass on the edge, so I don't do that.
No, and we could put them in the joints, but it doesn't matter. Because the moment you're dealing with boards that have a brass edge that we use when we cage books in, so what she's doing, instead of doing like Jeff, where the book is actually centered, she's doing her best to center them, but the brass boards create a bit of an impediment. Part of the story here is we're trying to say you can use the stuff you've got. So the question is applying it. So flat is really good. These boards happen to be varnished, which helps. Those boards are not, so if they kind of get wet, they kind of distort. So varnished is good as a surface. Did everybody's book get taken care of? Do we all?
See what I did wrong here?
What?
Well,
they're obsolete.
I've got a book here. Well, maybe not.
Yeah. Frankly, we usually do this in pairs, so you know it's not unusual for me to try and be in here on this side saying, well,
this book, the spine is just barely off the board. I guess it'll be okay, but actually it would be a good demonstration to crush a spine.
Well, should we push this one in? This bottom. This one is on the bottom a little bit. Now, we could actually put it all the way over. And so if you correct the shape of the book as much as possible, normalize it, it'll press out that way. That's like that picture of the hat that we were reforming to look like a hat. It wants to be kind of as much as possible back in the shape of the book, and the board wants to be, you know, you don't want to miss the edge of the book. If you kind of move it out, you could actually, it won't press out real well. Okay. Yeah, pretty good.
So then how far down do you type it?
So we put as much pressure on this as we can without losing our composure, because, you know, after all, it's all about how you look and that. You know.
I see.
This is why I don't want the boards on my spine, because I would have just crushed all my the spines.
But essentially, as much pressure as we can get, we tend to do like that, and we're good. And then we'll leave it tonight, and tomorrow morning we fan them back out again. This is the work of air drying. I don't know if you saw the book downstairs in the Gould Auditorium, but there's some air-dried examples that are finished, and they can come out pretty well. The pressure in between really helps while the paper is swollen. So you've got extra moisture in there. You can control the shape by drying it. So let's do the next thing, all right? Let's take the coated papers and interleave them. This is a group project.